The first sign of an outbreak isn't the groan of the infected, it's the scream of shopping cart wheels against linoleum. One minute, the store hums with ordinary life. The next, it's chaos, hands clawing for canned soup, bottled water, toilet paper. You can almost smell the adrenaline. The end of the world always begins in aisle 5. Subscribe to Think What If for more stories that push your imagination to the edge. You've seen it before, haven't you? The panic buys, that sudden herd instinct when fear becomes contagious. But this time, it's different. The headlines whisper about a pathogen leaking from a university lab in Singapore. Official statements deny everything, but anonymous researchers speak of something that rewires mammalian behavior, a parasite born from modified rhabdovirus and fungal genes. Most people ignore the science and reach for comfort, a pile of snacks, energy drinks, even scented candles. You watch them, basket overflowing, and wonder if instinct can be deadlier than the infection itself.
Grab what you can. I need that for my kids.
Because panic spreads faster than any virus. It jumps through screens, through whispers, through every shared look of dread. Within hours, the shelves were empty. You breathe in the smell of plastic and fear. Someone elbows you, another curses. It all feels primitive, ancient, as though civilization never changed us at all. What happens when everyone wants the same thing at the same time? When the hunger for safety becomes its own kind of disease? You look at what people buy. Instant noodles, chips, batteries, ammunition, mountains of paper towels. Yet no one grabs antibiotics, antiseptic, or water filters. No one thinks to take a map in a world where GPS might fail. Comfort first, logic last. You can feel that pull too, the desperate urge to fill your arms with something, anything, that promises control. But survival doesn't taste like potato chips. It smells like iodine. It sounds like the hiss of boiling water cleaning itself of invisible death. In a lab once hidden beneath Zurich, a team studying viral aggression engineered a hybrid variant for behavioral modification research. The experiment failed, or maybe it worked too well. Test animals displayed swarm behavior, their neural reward systems hijacked by infection. The scientists were forced to incinerate the facility. But a drone captured what happened in those final moments. Men tearing at sealed doors, their voices rising not in fear, but in hunger. The footage vanished within hours. What if that isn't fiction? What if panic buying is our first rehearsal before the real infection arrives? Outside, the city pulses under a red-streaked sky. Gas stations ring with shouting. People fill plastic containers with fuel, spilling it on the ground, unaware they're standing in puddles of fire waiting for a spark. Someone clutches a baby formula like gold. Another swings a bat at anyone who gets too close. Civilization doesn't collapse in explosions. It melts, quietly, behind fluorescent lights and glass doors. How long before you melt, too? Food will rot. Fuel will vanish. Batteries will die. What you truly need to survive isn't sealed in packaging. It's a skill, how to think, how to ration, how to repair what the old world left behind. A real survivor can turn a tin can into a stove and a tarp into shelter. Yet as you walk through the looted aisles, all you see is waste. Boxes torn open, products trampled. Everyone prepared for comfort, no one for consequence. Do you know what you would take right now if you could only carry one bag? Scientists studying parasitic control have found eerie parallels to outbreak fiction. The Ophiocordyceps fungus controls ants, forcing them upward to spread spores before dying. Rabies alters neural inhibition, triggering violence. Reconstructed influenza strains from the early 20th century show how fast evolution can weaponize nature. None of these are science fiction. They exist. Mutation is just timing and conditions. If such pathogens crossed, the result could ignite panic before the first bite even lands. Maybe fear itself becomes the contagion. Imagine the first confirmed case. Live streams, leaked footage. Authorities insist everything is fine, yet in the background, a medical worker's hand trembles. You remember the shelves, the shoving, the sirens. You realize we've trained for this moment, not by learning to survive, but by learning to consume. How much of your safety is a product you bought and not something you built? The difference between hoarding and surviving is memory. Hoarders forget the future. Survivors plan for it. Panic fills space. Preparation fills time. Maybe the truth is, we panic buy because we still want to believe in stores, in normalcy, in return. Buying things feels like building a bridge back to yesterday. But what happens when that bridge burns? Would you keep walking forward, or would you turn back to the smoke? Days pass. Trucks stop delivering. Power grids falter. The last store lights flicker out. All that's left in the aisles are silent mannequins of your former self, shoppers frozen mid-motion in memory. You scavenge by flashlight, searching not for food but for meaning. A notebook, maybe, a lighter, something simple, irreplaceable. You take what others overlook, a salt shaker to preserve meat, a bundle of paracord, the things that buy not comfort but time. You are learning. Slowly, painfully, you are adapting. You still hear the sound of shopping carts in your dreams. They roll endlessly down empty corridors, wheels squealing in the dark. Each squeak echoes that single phrase haunting all survivors. What do we really need? You wake up hungry, but not for food. Hungry for connection, for purpose. Hungry for the truth about how it all began. Maybe hunger itself keeps you human. At a medical station long abandoned, you find documents sealed inside a cracked biohazard case. They confirm the theories. The outbreak began as part of a behavioral immunity project, meant to trigger cooperative responses in harsh environments. Instead, the modified parasite removed inhibition. It stripped empathy, not fear. A species that panics first and thinks later. The perfect consumer. The perfect spreader. The infection didn't just reach our bodies. It reached the part of us that can't stop wanting more. The virus wasn't designed to kill instantly. It was made to manipulate instinct. At first, you'd think you were safe. Then you'd start craving things you don't need. Salt, sugar, light, contact. Those infected would hoard, consume, gather, and in that frenzy, spread the pathogen. The world didn't fall because of the undead. It fell because everyone wanted too much, too fast. The infection was desire itself. Think about it. What was the last thing you bought just to feel okay? What if that was the start, not the symptom? Maybe the impulse that fills carts and empty shelves is the same one that drives evolution. The need to have, to hold, to protect. But in excess, it breaks us. Somewhere inside, our cells still whisper the same order nature encoded long ago. Survive. It doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter who you become. You start seeing it everywhere. The reflection of the old world in new ruin. Families camped inside supermarkets, surrounded by towers of useless goods. Piles of coffee pods and toys they'll never power. Meanwhile, a nearby stream runs clear and untouched. Real resources ignored for symbols of safety. It's beautiful and horrifying all at once. Humans clinging to the ghost of convenience. Would you have been one of them? Time passes differently now. You measure it by firelight, not clocks. The things you used to crave lose meaning. You start valuing breath, warmth, silence. You realize true preparation was never about quantity. It was about clarity. knowing what matters and how little that really is. You whisper again the phrase that became your rhythm through the chaos. Stay calm, stay aware, stay human. It grows thinner each time, but it still guides you through the dark. When spring comes, you find growth pushing through cracks in concrete. Vines curling around forgotten shopping carts, breaking them slowly. Nature is quiet and patient. It hoards nothing. It uses what survives. You can smell soil again, rich and wet. You taste water that hasn't passed through a pipe. For the first time, you feel full without needing to consume anything at all. Maybe the planet doesn't need saving. Maybe it only needed us to stop. To stop running down aisles chasing the illusion of safety. To stop mistaking ownership for survival. In the end, what we hoard was never what we needed. We needed knowledge, tools, and each other. We needed restraint, not rage. Maybe the outbreak was never just biological. It was moral. You stand at the threshold of a broken mall, sunlight spilling through shattered skylights. All around you, empty packaging glitters like relics. You step through, the smell of dust rising from untouched aisles, and realize what you carry now fits in your hands. You feel light. You feel alive. You finally understand that survival isn't about what you take, but what you can let go. The cart stops rolling. The world exhales. Subscribe to Think What If for more worlds you should never forget.